Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good vibes, good energy, good people. It's your boy Mickey Fenty, aka Mickey Made It. If you're new to this channel, you know what to do to this channel. Subscribe right now. Also, if you want to support my brand, it's inspiredbydreams.shop, and I have the latest drops in there, and some new drops just came in. So you guys go check that out. Just trying to build a brand with my community. Okay, today's episode, we're talking about Fat Joe versus Lord Jamar and this whole back and forth with Fat Joe being disrespectful towards the FBA. And we're gonna dig into different conversations, how people felt about it, and just let's not take this into a place where the end result, leaves people separated. Let's try to come to a medium where there's better understanding, maybe some apologies given, and we can move on and get hip hop where it needs to be. Alright? Love you guys, and if you're new to this channel, y'all know what to do. Subscribe now. Let's get it.
Mickey made it. Mickey made it. What you made, Mickey?
So I'm a quarter Puerto Rican. My husband's Puerto Rican. Our daughter's Puerto Rican, of course. I live in LA right now, but I'm also from New York City. So I'm very just well aware. One, like Black and Puerto Rican communities were really close. I know people outside of New York don't get it.
I don't understand it.
Yeah, so I'm aware of Puerto Ricans' contributions to the start of hip hop. So 2 questions. How do you handle criticism you receive from people who just aren't aware of that history? And will we see a guest on the show who can come and provide more insight on that topic?
Man, we haven't had a guest yet on that. To me, it's nonsense. And so what you got to understand is when you see Mecca, when you go to Saudi Arabia and you see the Muslims walking around the thing, I was born in the Mecca of hip hop, the South Bronx. Not crosstown, not down the block. When I walked out my door, I would see Grandmaster Flash and Melly Mel playing pickup games of basketball. Mm-hmm. The first Latino MC, Ruby D, from Fantastic Romantic from the movie Wild Style, would be playing softball with his brothers. The first female MC, Sha Rock, was from 3 blocks away in Prospect Avenue. My babysitters created the term, let me hear you say, ho, ho. My 2 girls, my babysitters. Wow. So Joey is the wrong guy to try to get into hip hop, to be a hip hop scholar with. Because I'm really a product of the product. But so when you from somewhere else, with no disrespect, because I got fans all over the world. So I don't like to take shots at people because they're from somewhere else, because I appreciate the love. But when you trying to tell a story of hip hop, but you from 10 other states or whatever the case, and you acting like you don't know. And how about if you were there, I would know you. Rich, poor, fat, small, tall, gay, straight. If you were there, I know you. So when I'm looking at these guys who's making these documentaries, I'm like, I don't know you. You weren't there. I know the lady who used to sell the homemade cakes, the lemon cakes. I know everybody. And if you're talking about it, you weren't there. And so your opinion, it ain't too, I don't take that too serious.
Well, I'm looking forward to having a guest on maybe next season, because we already here for season 1, Fat Joe Talks, October 4th. I'm so happy. I'm so proud. You deserve this. And just put on for us.
Thank you so much. But let me ask you something. You think it's a necessity? You think it's a necessity that I have somebody do that?
Yeah, I think a lot of people a lot of people just aren't aware that they should, me and my husband, we have this conversation. We're from New York, and it's like people just outside of New York, like there's just a gray area there, and it would be good.
Weird. They like, yo, why these Spanish dudes, are with the black people over there and how this. But that was since the '60s, since the Young Lords and the Black Panthers, and this is like we've been together since birth. You know what I mean? We've been together. That's what it is. You have Puerto Rican. It is what it is.
Thank you so much. I'm here for it.
Said because I've seen video, but Fat Joe said he grew up in a 90% African American neighborhood, or he said black.
And I grew up in a 90% black neighborhood, so I had to go hard since birth.
He said 90% black neighborhood.
Right.
But Fat Joe grew up in a 90% African American neighborhood, so how can he turn around and say hip-hop started 50-50?
Right.
I saw a video of Fat Joe at a party, like in the middle 1980s. He was at a party totally outnumbered.
South Bronx, the South Bronx, South Bronx, the South Bronx.
And before we go any further, I think people are really more concentrated on the fact of the disrespect shown towards the FBA more than hip hop could be cleaned up a little bit. But this is something that we have a problem in our culture. People just trying to remix history and just telling it their own way. Just tell it the way it is.
Bronx, the South Bronx, South Bronx, South Bronx, South Bronx, the 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 South Bronx.
Now that's what happened. Now that's what happened. Now that's what happened. Now that's what happened. That's what happened. Now that's what happened.
And he was like the only Spanish dude. Might have been one or two others, but he was totally outnumbered in this party. And I think that's a good example of how hip hop started.
Right.
African American culture was totally dominating early hip hop.
And you even said that's the 80s, so imagine the 70s.
Exactly.
You know that you can be a vulture in your own culture.
When I tell you this lady here gave the best analysis on this situation, the best one I've heard so far, and she's not a part of a podcast or NBC or anything of that nature, I have to give kudos off to her. I'm gonna have to give kudos off to her because she's done the best explanation I've seen. Now, one thing about this is why I tell people when they be talking about foundational Black American, I'm not a part of that shit. I'm just a black man who live in America. That foundational Black American shit is something that was coined by Tariq Nasheed. There was a black lady also who started something called ADOS, I think American Descendants of Slavery. Also, so I don't know how one got hijacked or whatever, right? But Tariq Nasheed, who initially came in the game trying to be Kevin Samuels, or Kevin Samuels became to be, a guy who actually had tried his own rap career, is now coming in hip hop and creating divisiveness. He's doing what they've been doing on Twitter with these diaspora wars, having these conversations and arguments with Africans. We didn't have these kind of conversations in hip hop. We didn't have these kind of tug of wars in hip hop. At least not the time, not since I've been listening to it, since I've been a part of the culture, which had to be at least since 86, 87, when I was a little kid, being intrigued by Houdini and Run DMC. This guy has monetized this situation, this is what he does. He's monetized it so he can make a living, do these podcasts, do these DVDs or these films that make money, so that he can make a living. And people don't realize that they're being played. This whole thing with Fat Joe, fam, let me tell you something. I've seen Fat Joe. I'm 44 years old, okay? I haven't seen Fat Joe on TV since I was 9. When the Lord Finesse, Strictly for the Ladies record came out, and he had a video that used to be on Rap City, he was in the video. I used to see him in Show and AG videos, Chi Ali videos, all them guys. Nobody ever had anything negative to say about Fat Joe until this shit started popping off. Now, some of his music, I must say, he kind of fell off. Like, he ain't doing what he used to do. We want him to get back on that New York shit, but that's neither here nor there. This what's going on now is some generated bullshit, because Fat Joe's been saying the N-word for 30-something years. Why are we all of a sudden now in 2024 making this like a grand issue? Like, we really got issues right now where rappers are setting up contract killings and shit, and all this. We got way more bigger issues in hip-hop to talk about than this bullshit. But again, a lot of people don't understand it's a money ploy for Tariq Nasheed to make money. That's all it is.
All right, quick rundown, because I'm tired of all this back and forth on Twitter, because I don't really think a lot of you motherfuckers can read anyway. So let me do a video for you to break it down about this whole, the Puerto Rican, Fat Joe, black issue. One, Fat Joe's Puerto Rican. So Puerto Rican, or Puerto Rico, is an island, right? Who was the original inhabitants of that island? There was the Tiano people. Well, before the Tiano, they were the Arawak people. Then the Tiano people. But they're pretty much the same people. They say the Tianos is a subgroup of the Arawaks. Same people. What are these people? These people are so-called Native Americans or Aboriginal people. Okay, how did they get there? When did they get there? Do you know? So these people came from the Indus Valley through the Bering Strait 16,000 years ago. So those are the people that inhabited all of South Central America, the people that you know as the Aztecs, the Olmecs, the Mayans, and so forth. But obviously, there's other tribes in the Caribbean, the Carib. They call them the Carib Indians. But mind you, they don't call themselves Indians, and y'all know that. You know that people that's called Indians or Native Americans do not identify as that. And why? There was no such thing as America. America is named after Amerigo Vespucci, an Italian sailor. So what was this area called before Amerigo Vespucci discovered it? And then they decided to name it. You understand? So, but going back to the Tianos and the Arawak. So, like I said, they migrated from the Indus Valley, which is in India. That's all that's in India, southern India. If you know anything, the majority of people in southern India are what? They're like my complexion. They're dark skinned. They just have a different hair texture. You understand? Which I don't understand. Black is universal. Black comes in kinky hair, straight hair, blue eyes, green eyes, brown, black. Black is black, bro. Y'all not understanding this. Or you do understand it, you just don't want to accept it. I don't know. It's one or the other. But all this is facts. You can't sit and argue against it. You either can accept it or be like, well, you know what, I just don't want to accept it and fuck it, I just want to separate myself. Then you do that though. But stop with the cap, stop the lying, stop with all this other crazy ass goofy clown shit. Shit's not making no sense. It's not adding up. Your math ain't mathing. You understand what I'm saying? So all this shit with Fat Joe, at the end of the day, Fat Joe is black. We consider them black. Puerto Rico is an island. That's called a nationality. Just like Jamaicans. You got Jamaicans that'll tell you they're not black. They're Jamaican. They are, even though they're darker than me, they're identifying with a nation, with a nationality. And I get that. Because not everybody know what time it is. Black is not national. Black is universal. Everywhere you go, there's dark-skinned black people all over the world. It's always been like that. If you read any of the writings from the dude, what's that dude name? Marco Polo. The white dude. I believe he's Italian or Spanish. I don't remember. But when he traveled and went to India, he ran into black people. Then he left and went to Abyssinia, which is Ethiopia today. And he was like, damn, the people in Ethiopia, or Abyssinia as they used to be called, look like the people who had just left in India. He's confused. He's like, how the fuck is that? Duh, because we all migrated coming out of what is called Africa today. And that's not the original name either, Africa. That's not its original name. A lot of these land masses are not under their original names. So when people say something about, well, I'm a black American. How are you a black American? How are you an American when this is not the original name of that land? That's why I don't identify with no nation. I don't identify with no piece of land. I'm black. Black is universal. So that makes me, everywhere I go is my home. I can go to Sweden, Denmark, that's my home. Black people have to know and accept that. You have to understand that the entire planet Earth is your home. every square inch of it. 196,940,000 square miles. That's your home. My home ain't just Africa, what is called Africa, or this land that's called America. My home is the entire globe. But if you want to be relegated to a little small part, well, I'm going to just stay to this little corner of the room. You can do that because you think small. You're a small ass niggas. Y'all, some of y'all small minded ass niggas. So fine, do that or whatever. But that's the deal with that. So all this with the Fat Joe shit, the man is black, period. His skin is light. He's black. He's basically a black man that speaks Spanish. That's what that is. Oh, to the other note too, not that you don't know this though, but so you had the Tiano and the Arawak on Puerto Rico. Then you had the Spanish conquistadors that came, which some of the Spanish people were dark too. You know why? Because the Moors, if you know anything about the Moors, when they didn't invade, when they went to war and took over Southern Europe from 711 AD to, what was it, 1490 something is when they got kicked out. So the black Moors were in Southern Europe, which is Spain, Portugal, France, and Southern Italy for nearly 700 years. So some of the Spanish came over to the island called Puerto Rico, and you know things happened. Then the Spanish brought slaves from Africa. So you get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, everyone that comes from that generated from dark-skinned people or black people. So the people in Puerto Rico now, do some of them do call themselves Afro-Puerto Rico. Some of them don't. But that's because they don't know. They don't have a knowledge of self. But just because they don't have a knowledge of self, that doesn't take away from the fact of what it is. It doesn't move that. So that's that, man. I'm tired of going back and forth with some of you goofy ass niggas. Some of you niggas need to be slapped with toilet paper or some shit. Fuck up out of here. Go get
Puerto Ricans. Do you feel like they played a part in creating hip hop?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Were they early? Were they the first contributors? Yes. Did they do things to help proliferate hip hop? Yes. Were they, do we have valuable people from the Puerto Rican culture that has contributed? Absolutely. But in the beginning stages of hip hop, in the creation stages of hip hop, this was very much a Black American youth thing that had no outside influences from Puerto Rico or Jamaica or any other type of place that you may name. The influence is, if anything, were from down south America.
This conversation started from Math's podcast, My Expert Opinion, Fat Joe speaking on the FBA, and what I feel about the whole situation. I feel Fat Joe was definitely in the wrong because of the fact that he started with disrespect, trying to make a point. And once you start with disrespect, just telling people, they broke this or that, and you're trying to make a point or trying to, highlight something that you might not agree with, it's never going to come off right. People are only going to follow up behind the disrespect. That's number one. Number two, I just feel like, when it comes to hip hop, you have to understand, and I'm pretty sure Fat Joe understands, in the black community, I said it once, I'll say it again, a lot of times we are our hard work and the things that we created and the things that we start, somebody usually buys into it and they take it over and put it in their name. So this type of treatment has always been going on in the black community. It's sad. So you guys let me know in the comment section, how do you feel about this whole conversation? Fat Joe versus Lord Jamar, who started hip hop? Yeah, you guys leave your comments down below. I love you guys, and until next time, it's your boy Mickey Fenty, aka Mickey Made It. If you're new to this channel, you know what to do to this channel. Subscribe,